Faded Glory by Dan Mason, Jack Smith, The Architect of Chaos. Part 2. Lin Mei was an expert at manipulation, seducing officers, contractors, and anyone with clearance into her web of deceit. She knew how to extract information without suspicion, offering her clients relaxation while prying secrets from their lips. The information she collected was then funneled directly to Jack, who sold some to the highest bidder, but most he used for his grand design, the destruction of America from within. "You see this, Maria?" Jack said, glancing at the young woman on his right. Her dark hair cascaded over her shoulders, and her eyes fluttered open for a moment. She was too tired to speak, but nodded in acknowledgement. "This is what freedom looks like," he continued, gesturing to the television. "The end of their precious order, the beginning of something new." Maria and Xiang were not in his room by accident. Both were critical pieces in Jack's operation. Maria, brought in from Guatemala, had worked her way up through the underground network Jack had established. She acted as a liaison between Jack's organization and the Central American gangs he had partnered with, MS-13 and others who operated across the southern United States. Maria's role was to funnel young girls into the trafficking pipeline and move money, drugs, and weapons across state lines. She was one of his most loyal assets. Xiang, on the other hand, had come to the United States under the guise of a masseuse, but her real role was much more complex. She was an operative for Lin Mei, sent to ensure that Jack's plans aligned with the interests of their Chinese backers. Xiang worked as a spy and enforcer, ensuring the military secrets Jack received from Lin Mei made their way back to Beijing. The Chinese government had a vested interest in Jack's revolution. After all, a destabilized America was the perfect opportunity for them to assert global dominance. "Tomorrow, there will be more attacks," Jack said, speaking more to himself than to the women. "And the day after that, more riots. The police won't be able to stop it. The military will be stretched thin. And when the time comes, we'll strike at the heart of it all." He leaned forward, adjusting the towel wrapped around his waist. His mind raced with thoughts of what was to come. He had already planted the seeds of revolution, and they were beginning to sprout. Jack had his agents inside various protest groups, minority communities, and labor unions. His goal wasn't just to incite violence, but to create a groundswell of anger, discontent, and rebellion. The American economy, weakened by his attacks, would be teetering on the edge. And when the right moment came, he would give it the final push. It was no accident that Jack had targeted Jacksonville and southern Georgia. The military presence there was significant, and by compromising key officers, he had already sown confusion within the ranks. Lin Mei's network had ensured that certain operations would go unnoticed, that certain vulnerabilities would remain unpatched. Jack's allies in the Chinese government had ensured that critical shipments of goods would be delayed, further strangling the American supply chain.